Imagine setting out on a journey, right? But it's one where a single powerful idea just takes over everything, where you see nature's immense power, sort of indifferent, clash right against one person's unwavering will.
Yeah, a really consuming idea.
Exactly. And today we're diving deep into those waters. We're exploring one of the biggest achievements in American literature, Herman Melville's Moby Dick.
That's such a monumental book.
It really is. So our plan is to unpack it, the story, the characters, the huge questions it asks that people are still talking about.
And try to make those big ideas feel, well, accessible and maybe even gripping.
Definitely. Because at its core, Moby Dick is this epic story about obsession, and revenge.
Set against this backdrop of humanity struggling with the natural world.
And it all centers on Captain Ahab and his relentless hunt for that white whale. So as we get started, maybe think about this. Have you ever been, totally consumed by an idea, or just felt completely dwarfed by the sheer scale of nature?
Those are the feelings Melville taps into so powerfully. It's amazing, isn't it, how a book ostensibly about whaling can dig into these really universal human things.
It really is.
Right from the start, Melville kind of challenges you to look past the adventure story on the surface. He pulls you into this narrative about, the limits of what humans can endure, what drives them.
Yeah, their ambition, their obsession. It's why it still hits home, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is why it still resonates so strongly today.
Okay, so where do we begin? Well, our journey, much like the novels, kicks off with probably one of the most famous opening lines in all of literature.
Yes. Call me Ishmael.
Right. Just instantly iconic.
It really grounds you immediately, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Ishmael just steps forward, this sort of philosophical guy, a bit restless.
Yeah, wanting to escape the boredom, the monotony of life on land.
Exactly. He wants to find something bigger, something profound out there in the vastness of the ocean. And the search for meaning, it leads him first to New Bedford, Massachusetts.
The whaling town.
The whaling town, yeah. And eventually, he signs up for a voyage on the ship Pequod. But it's clear it's more than just finding a job for him.
Oh, definitely. It feels like this existential quest he's on, a way to confront the world, maybe himself too.
Precisely. And the ship itself, the Pequod.
Oh.
Wow. It almost feels alive, doesn't it?
It does. It's described as this old, weathered ship, almost ancient feeling. And its crew is just this incredible mix of people from all over the globe.
A real microcosm of humanity brought together by this dangerous, shared purpose hunting whales.
But for Ishmael, amidst this diverse crowd, one relationship becomes really central very quickly.
Ah, you mean his connection with Queequeg?
Yeah, Queequeg, the Polynesian harpooner covered in tattoos. Their friendship is, well, it's pretty remarkable.
It's absolutely pivotal. I mean, think about it. They come from completely different worlds, different cultures,
Yeah.
yet they form this incredibly deep bond, almost like brothers.
It really stands out.
It does. And I think Melville uses it as this powerful symbol, right? A symbol of how humanity can connect, can find unity and understanding, even across huge cultural divides.
It's like this little beacon of connection and warmth.
Which is important because it provides such a stark contrast to the kind of leadership, the kind of atmosphere that soon dominates the ship.
Right, because while Ishmael is forming this really human bond, there's another figure looming, someone who casts this long, dark shadow over everyone on the Pequod.
And that, of course, is Captain Ahab.
Captain Ahab. He enters the story and he's just intense, brooding, mysterious.
You get this feeling about him right away. Initially, he sort of hides his real intentions, right? Plays the part of a regular whaling captain just doing his job.
But you can sense it, can't you? There's something else going on, something darker driving this whole voyage.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take too long for the truth to come out.
No, he gathers the crew and reveals his actual mission.
Yeah.
And it's got nothing to do with filling the ship with whale oil. Not really.
His entire focus, his whole reason for being out there is this single-minded, monomaniacal hunt for one specific whale, Moby Dick.
And we learn why. This isn't just some legendary whale to him.
No, it's personal, deeply personal. Moby Dick, this huge, monstrous white sperm whale, had attacked his previous ship, destroyed it,
And took his leg.
and took his leg. That's the crux of it. So this isn't business anymore. It's a vendetta. a personal quest for revenge that completely overshadows the voyage's practical purpose.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? What happens when someone lets vengeance just consume them like that, to the point where it overrides everything else?
Everything. His obsession is so total, it basically makes him disregard the safety of his crew, the ship, any kind of rational thought. It just casts this incredibly ominous spell over the whole journey ahead.
And what a journey it turns out to be. As the Pequod sails further and further out into these vast oceans, Ishmael does something interesting as the narrator.
He starts weaving in these other chapters, right? The ones that feel almost like lectures.
Exactly. These incredibly detailed sections about, the techniques of whaling, the anatomy and biology of whales. You might almost skim them, thinking they're just like informational sidebars.
But there's so much more than that. Melville's doing something really clever there. These aren't just digression.
No, they're really deep in the whole thing.
He absolutely do. He uses these moments to pause the action and offer these profound philosophical reflections on life, on fate, on how small humanity seems against the raw power of nature.
It gives the novel its incredible depth.
It's essential for that depth. It expands the story way beyond just a simple chase. It becomes this meditation on existence itself.
It's almost like Melville's deliberately yanking us out of the plot for a moment, making us wrestle with these bigger ideas about where we fit in the universe.
And it makes Ahab's relentless focus seem even more stark, more extreme by comparison.
Yeah. And meanwhile, as they're sailing, the mood just gets heavier and heavier. There are all these strange signs, omens, prophecies.
Yeah, these weird occurrences keep happening.
It just builds this creeping sense of dread, doesn't it? Like tragedy is just waiting around the corner. It feels almost inevitable.
Completely. It's like the universe itself is trying to warn them about where Ahab's path is leading. But he's got this hypnotic grip on the crew,
They're swept along by his sheer will.
which just adds to that feeling that some things, once set in motion, maybe can't be stopped. It's unsettling.
Now, they're not entirely alone out there on the ocean. The Pequod does encounter other whaling ships during its voyage.
Right, and these meetings aren't just random. Melville uses them really effectively as a narrative tool.
How so?
Well, they allow him to bring in different viewpoints, different perspectives on whaling itself, sure, but also on bigger themes like mortality or dealing with the unknown, the dangers of the sea.
So each ship they meet kind of adds another layer.
Exactly. Each encounter gives us a slightly different angle on the human condition out there, the risks they're all taking. It fleshes out the world and the stakes.
And sometimes these other ships bring warnings, don't they? Specifically about Moby Dick.
They do. Some captains have maybe seen the white whale or they've heard the terrifying stories. They try to caution Ahab, tell him it's madness to hunt this particular whale.
But Ahab, he just brushes them off.
Completely. He's totally resolute. The warnings just bounce off him because his purpose is so singular, so absolute.
Yeah.
It's consumed him.
And that unwavering resolve, even when faced with clear danger, really highlights the tragic element, right? His refusal to listen to bend at all.
It's central to his character and to the tragedy. He's locked onto this path of revenge.
Which, of course, brings us to the climax. After all this time at sea, all the buildup, the omens, the warnings, finally, they spot him. Moby Dick.
This is it. The moment Ahab has lived for, the absolute peak of his obsession.
All that coiled tension just explodes into action.
Instantly. Ahab leads his crew into these three final, incredibly intense attacks against the whale.
3 separate attempts.
Yes, and each one gets more desperate, more harrowing than the last. The confrontation escalates. It becomes more than just a hunt.
You really feel the symbolism ramping up, don't you? It stops being just man versus beast.
Oh, absolutely. It morphs into something much bigger. It feels like a struggle between, well, fate and free will, maybe.
Is Ahab destined for this, or is he choosing it?
That's the question Melville forces on you right there in the heat of battle. Is Ahab just playing out a predetermined role, or is he making this defiant, conscious choice to challenge destiny itself? The fights are just ferocious.
And the final battle, it's just catastrophic.
Utterly devastating. Moby Dick, in this incredible display of power, turns on the Pequod and destroys it. Sinks the ship completely.
And Ahab.
Ahab meets his end, tangled in the very harpoon lines he threw at the whale. A kind of grim, poetic justice, perhaps. Pulled down into the depths by his own obsession.
And while the
The
whale
whale escapes, slips back into the ocean, seemingly unharmed, invincible, as mysterious as ever.
that escape feels important. Nature, or this force the whale represents, isn't conquered.
Not at all. It remains immense, powerful, fundamentally unknowable. That final act really seals the tragedy of Ahab's hubris, showing the kind of futility of trying to dominate something so primal.
So the ship's gone, the crew's gone, Ahab's gone. But wait, there's one survivor.
Yes, our narrator, Ishmael. Somehow, he alone survives the wreck.
How does he manage that?
He ends up clinging to Queequeg's coffin, which they'd earlier sealed and caulked to serve as a lifebuoy. That's quite ironic, isn't it? Salvation comes from an object meant for death.
And it's a final reminder of that friendship with Queequeg.
A powerful final echo of that bond. He just floats there, adrift on the open sea.
Until he's picked up by another ship, the Rachel.
Yes, the Rachel, which was itself searching for its own lost crew members, specifically the captain's son. So Ishmael is saved, but he's left as the only one who saw it all.
The sole witness, carrying the weight of this whole incredible, devastating story.
And his survival means the story gets told, right? We get the perspective of the observer, the one who looked into the abyss and somehow came back. He's left to make sense of it all.
To reflect on Ahab's obsession, yeah, but also the bigger picture stuff. Humanity's pride, its destructive side.
Exactly. His philosophical nature really takes over there, trying to find meaning in the madness he witnessed.
Okay, let's really dig into those deeper themes now. Because Moby Dick isn't just an adventure story, far from it. It's loaded with these profound ideas that make it such a cornerstone of literature. Let's start with the obvious one. Obsession and revenge.
Right. Ahab's chase for Moby Dick, it's more than just plot. It's this really powerful exploration of how obsession, especially when it's fueled by revenge, can just take over, blind you to everything else.
It's kind of chilling how relatable that can be, even if not on Ahab's scale.
Absolutely. I mean, think about times you've seen someone or maybe even yourself get so fixated on one thing that they push people away, ignore warning signs. Melville just puts that destructive power right in front of you, showing how it leads straight to self-destruction.
And that ties directly into another massive theme, this clash between humanity and nature.
Definitely. Nature in the book, the ocean, the weather, and especially Moby Dick himself, is portrayed as this immense, unknowable force. It's incredibly beautiful sometimes, but also terrifyingly powerful and, crucially, indifferent to human concerns.
It puts our attempts to control it or even understand it into perspective.
Exactly. It highlights our own smallness in the grand scheme of things. It's quite humbling, really. A reminder that we're not always in charge.
Then there's that constant back and forth between fate and free will. Does Ahab choose his path, or was it all predetermined?
That's a central question Ishmael keeps circling back to, isn't it? He sees the omens, the hints of destiny suggesting maybe some larger plan is unfolding.
But Ahab's defiance is so strong, too. His sheer willpower feels like a choice.
It does. And Melville leaves it ambiguous, which is part of the genius, I think. He makes us ponder it. In our own lives, how much are we steering and how much are we just carried by the currents? How much control do we really have?
It's a deep one. Another really interesting contrast in the book is isolation versus brotherhood or connection.
Yes. You have Ahab, who becomes increasingly isolated by his obsession. He cuts himself off, emotionally and strategically.
And then you compare that to the bond between Ishmael and Queequeg.
Which is the complete opposite. Their friendship crosses all these cultural lines, representing real empathy, unity, genuine human connection. It's like Melville is offering it as an alternative, right? A more hopeful path, maybe, than Ahab's lonely vengeance.
A counterweight to all that darkness.
Precisely. It suggests that connection is maybe what saves us or what makes life meaningful, even amidst chaos.
Okay, and we can't wrap up the themes without talking about the whale himself. Moby Dick. He's not just an animal. He's this massive, complex symbol.
Oh, he's arguably one of the greatest symbols in all of literature. And the reason he's so powerful is that he means different things to different people, even within the novel.
Right. For Ahab, he's the embodiment of evil, maybe?
Malice, perhaps. Or for others, he might just represent the raw, untamed power of nature. Or maybe the complete unknowability of the universe. Some might even see him as representing God, or God's indifference.
So there's no single answer to what the white whale means.
And that's the point. The ambiguity is what makes him so endlessly fascinating and powerful. He resists easy definition, forcing us to grapple with what he might symbolize for ourselves.
So, putting this all together, what does it say about Moby Dick's legacy? Why is it considered more than just an adventure, but this profound philosophical work?
Well, it's that combination, isn't it? The incredibly rich symbolism we just talked about, those amazingly detailed, almost encyclopedic descriptions of whaling life that immerse you completely.
Yeah, those chapters really ground it.
They do. And then woven through it all are these deep existential questions about life, death, meaning obsession. It just pushed the boundaries of what people thought a novel could do back then.
It's pretty amazing. But interestingly, it wasn't a smash hit right away, was
I
it?
found not at all. Its initial reception was actually quite poor. Critics didn't quite know what to make of it, and the public didn't really flock to it. It was kind of misunderstood, or maybe just ahead of its time.
So when did that change?
It took a while. It wasn't really until the 20th century, with the Melville revival, that critics and readers started looking back and realizing the sheer depth and genius of the work.
And now it's seen as, well, essential.
Absolutely. It's rightly considered one of the most important, most influential novels ever written in English, certainly in American literature. Its themes are just too big, too relevant, too human to ignore.
Okay, so that brings our deep dive into the massive world of Moby Dick toward its close. We've journeyed with Ishmael seeking meaning, confronted Captain Ahab's terrifying obsession, sailed those philosophical seas, and faced that tragic end.
We've touched on obsession, nature's power, fate versus free will, isolation, brotherhood, all wrapped up in that enigmatic white whale.
So the question we leave you with is, what does this echo for you? Do you see shades of Ahab's consuming drive, maybe in the world today, or even in yourself sometimes? Or do you connect more with Ishmael, the observer, trying to find meaning and connection in all the vastness?
It's a powerful thought to end on. Maybe ask yourself, in this world full of mysteries and challenges, are we all, in some small way, sailing our own Pequod? Are we chasing our own white whales, whatever they may be? Or are we searching for those moments of connection, like Ishmael and Queequeg found amidst it all?
Something to definitely keep pondering. Thanks for joining us on this voyage, and we'll catch you for the next deep dive.